But I found this one too.
And
so
you got some DC Comics Presents. Yeah.
I like the artwork on this one. The Atom is saying he's going to avenge Superman's death.
Oh. And if you want someone to avenge your death, go with the tiny guy.
Yeah.
Go with the itty bitty dude.
I really like his pose. Mama, I just killed a man. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you put a mic in his hand there. He is Freddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, the Atom, when he played Live Aid, I was blown away.
What did you think about his portrayal on CW?
I mean, one of my big problems with the CW, and it's something that my friend John, of course, always harps on. He's like, they're giving you all those characters, and they're in costumes, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not the characters. It's like they pulled names and said, yeah, let's use that, but they do it without any consideration of, well, is that really the character? So, Brandon Routh, I like a lot. I liked him as Superman. I like him as whatever they put him in. I like that guy. He's a likable actor. They decided their take on Ray Palmer was going to be a nebbish kind of nerdy guy. He's the science guy. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the Atom as he's been portrayed ever. And they also made him their tech guy, a la Tony Stark. So no, I didn't like it. I was like, okay, yeah, they're calling that guy Atom, just like they called that guy Firestorm, or they called that person. It's like, guys, you're just pulling names out. If you're not bothering to get it right, then don't do that.
I remember being frustrated. I was like, okay, Atom, so when shrinking going to happen anytime? It took like a whole season or two before he finally got the shrinking ability.
I think, and here's the thing, I think the producers came out and said, yeah, the problem with doing the Atom is talk about the effects being expensive. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, you knew that going in. So don't use Atom if you're going to have him in an Iron Man suit. And that's the whole thing. You're like,
right.
No, he shrinks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm the guy in the back of the room going, pardon me. The Atom shrinks. If you need me for more, I'm right here. The thing with that is, again, that character has such an arc. He really does have an arc, and you could do stuff with that, but follow the template, because he is kind of he starts off as kind of the boring scientist guy who ends up with this power. Then he uses it as a hero, and that's great. But his marriage is disintegrating in the background. I mean, all this stuff is pretty awesome. And in the 80s, they had the whole thing with the divorce and him being permanently shrunk down to a size and him hanging out with this race of tiny alien people, and he becomes kind of a sword and sorcery hero for a bit. Then he gets to rejoin the Justice League, and his wife is now irreparably insane, and she murders people. That gets, of course, really dark. But the whole thing is that the Atom is an interesting guy with an interesting arc, but don't just use it so the nerds go, yay, the Atom's in the show. Is he really your Atom? No.
Yeah, right. That's why it was so frustrating with Firestorm. That I mean, the origin was all wrong, obviously, because everything has to be spun off of Star Labs. All he does is like blast fire. Doesn't have any shape-changing abilities.
Again, that's the whole thing. Budget. It's like he has, well, literally, his should be the cheapest, because he could just. I mean, you could literally just use a chop frame.
Right.
It's just like you show a guy like pulling a gun and suddenly he's holding a flower. I mean, that's just, that should be really cheap. Like, what the? I did that. I turned the gun into a flower. I have molecular control over shit. So you don't really need to animate anything. Just have things pop out and pop back in.
And you could have a sound effect like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to see the producers in a meeting going, guys, we got to do something about the Firestorm sound effect. That is not working for anybody.